Hey, what's up everyone? It's me, Jordan, and today I'm going to be talking a bit more about Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 has now been out for nearly 2 months now, and I've had a lot of time playing this game, and I've got a few things I want to say about this game that I kind of did mention in my review, but I think after playing this game for a longer period of time, I've got some more thoughts and extended thoughts on how I want this game to be improved and what I think this game needs to do to move forward. So the first thing I want to talk about is the customization that is in the game. Now the first thing I need to say that this game lacks in is the primary weapons. In terms of sidearms and melee weapons and grenades, I think there's a commendable variety of them. In terms of primary weapons though, I do not think for a Battlefield game there is not nearly enough primary weapons in this game. If you look at them, it says that there's a lot more than there actually is. There's you've got your trench variation, your low weight, or your storm, whichever. However, out of the three variants, there is obviously a best one, so we're only going to count that as one weapon. There are 27 primary weapons, and that's including both the MP18 experimental and the M1903 experimental, because they operate very differently to the base variants. So 27 primary weapons are in BF1. Now if we compare that to Battlefield 4, we can see, as I'm going to show you on the screen, now this is a video taken from years ago. This was actually taken during the alpha at Gamescom, I think, where someone just went through all the weapons stuff that was in the game. So if you see any like weird picture errors, then that's the reason why you're seeing that. There are 38 primary weapons in Battlefield 4. I'm taking it, though it would be 39, but I'm taking away the one because there's two variants of an Ace 52 and a 21, I think you'll see. So that is 39 weapons, but that is only including the ones that are exclusive to each class. So assault rifles for the medics, PDWs for the engineers, LMGs for the support, and on and on. Or in total, when you add up the shotguns and the DMRs and the carbines, that's 65 primary weapons in total. And that isn't including the weapons that came later on in the game for DLC. So 65 weapons in Battlefield 4 and 26 in BF1. That to me is very bad, and I think it needs to be improved. I think the biggest problem, like 26 sounds like a lot, but the fact that the previous game that they did had 65 and now they've gone all the way down to 26, that's a bit of an issue that I have. And it's not to say that there wasn't a lot of weapons in World War I. It says here that there were 29 service rifles that were used between different nations. So during the 4 years that the war took place, these were the rifles that most of the nations would use based on, their nation. During those 4 years, there was over hundreds of weapons. Rifles, machine guns, sidearms, SMGs were being produced for the war, but not all of them made it overseas. Despite this being a Wikipedia page, I can understand why people would say, no, this can't be true. Most of these weapons that you're seeing on screen right now did exist during the First World War, but they were never actually shipped overseas for the soldiers to use. I remember seeing Angry Joe's review, and he said that the weapons that existed are overrepresented, which I completely agree with. One example is like the new grenade crossbow that's being used in the support class now. That gadget wasn't necessarily a handheld gadget. It was more of a stationary weapon that the soldiers would use, and it was about the height of an average human being. It was like 5 foot long, and they would place it, lean it up against the top of the trench, and shoot it upwards, and then the grenade would come down, and then hopefully literally hit the enemy trench. So it wasn't necessarily a handheld where you could just carry it about in your pocket. It was a massive long gadget that needed to be put down and stationary. And that kind of leads into the rank 10 guns that I've had a lot of issues with. Not necessarily the guns themselves, but just the fact that you unlock literally everything in the game in every class when you get to rank 4 in that class, and then from that all the way up until rank 10 you can't really use it, and that really to me shouldn't be a thing. I think rank 4 to 10 is a massive gap. And also, just another little thing is restricting the customization of vehicles, where you can only actually customize your vehicle when there's a vehicle available to spawn in, and even then, when you're doing that, you're holding back someone who's actually ready to go. To me, that kind of needs to be changed. You should be able to customize your vehicle anytime when you want, rather than just have it wait, for one to spawn, and then you can actually customize it, but then that holds off someone that's actually ready to go and can't get in it because you've got it queued. Now the second thing I'm going to talk about quickly is the maps. Now I think the maps in BF1 are good, but when you compare them to Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, they're nowhere near as good, I don't think. They all feel very linear, especially like maps that are quite wide, like Monte Grappa. I thought was quite, when I looked at it, it looked like a massive open map kind of thing. But the thing is, the map is extremely straight. Like there's 3 flags at the bottom of the hill and there's 2 flags at the top of the hill kind of thing. And to me, I don't think the map is wide open enough, and I was kind of disappointed because the map could have been, I think, a lot better. Some of the maps look quite similar in terms of design. Suez and Sinai Desert are probably the best example I can think of. Suez just feels like Sinai Desert, but it's just smaller thing. It kind of just feels a bit lazy, to be honest, where I think that they've tried their best to change every map look different, make every map look like its own map, you know, its own little unique. But I just think those 2 maps in particular look very similar, and they are the 2 worst maps in the game, which doesn't really help out much either. Also the medal system, where you have certain challenges you can complete in order to win medals. And all you get really from it is XP, and I kind of wish it was just the way it was in Battlefield 4, where they were all unlocked. You could basically play the game, and if you wanted to know how you were doing in terms of the challenges, you would just check it. Whereas in this game, in Battlefield 1, you kind of have to check, and the thing is, sometimes I've had this, well, I haven't had this, but other people have had this problem sometimes where they, like the medals week refreshes, like every week there's like 5 different medals you can do. And sometimes people have like gone on and all the 5 medals that have been refreshed are ones they've already done. So they can't complete anything at all, and that kind of holds them back and annoys them. I really think that the medal system just needs to be completely open, and also I wish that they would have a bit more of an award that they gave you. They don't give you nothing more than just a medal and a bonus XP. That's all they give you. I wish you actually had there was actually some kind of award that would motivate you to actually complete them, because to be honest, I can't bring myself to actually complete the medals anymore, because they're just, you know, it's nothing, there's nothing really special to win over completing the medals really. And the final thing I want to say is this, is that premium players are going to get the rest of the game. I'm assuming all the content will be released within the next year. I'm assuming like this time next year all the DLCs will be released, I'm assuming. So non-premium players, people who can't afford to spend another £40 or $50 or whatever country you live in, not a lot of people have that kind of money to kind of throw in to get the rest of the game. Now I am looking forward to the expansions, but I can't help myself to think that a lot of people are not going to get the full experience that they want, and no one's going to throw £40 or, you know, $50 at it, whatever, to get everything. And that's kind of sad, to be honest, because I mean there is a new map coming out on the 20th, Giant Shadow. Premium players have already got their hands on it, but I hope that they can do a bit more than that, like maybe release at some point like a weapon patch, you know, where they give 5 new weapons or something like that, kind of like what they did with BF4 when they released the AN-94, the Mayor's Leg and all that, where it was just a free weapon patch. Everyone could get them, everyone could unlock them, you know, all that kind of stuff. I hope they could do that in the future as well, to make sure that they don't leave out the players who can't afford to spend a lot more money on the game. So that's my thoughts now on what Battlefield 1 needs to do to improve. Tell me your thoughts as well in the comments, because I really want to know what you guys are thinking of this game, because I like this game a lot, but it could be so much better with just those things I've mentioned, at least for me. But if you've got other things that I haven't mentioned, then please let me know. And I'll see you guys all soon. Take care of yourselves. Later.
Yes, no,